With the heatwave going on and it being over 30 degrees in my flat in London, I just had to get out of London for that day. So I hopped on a southern train to Brighton, which is my go-to destination for a quick trip to the seaside.
We are now approaching Brighton, our final destination.
Just over an hour later, I stepped off the train and was met with a surprisingly fresh cold breeze that felt so good. It was a bit of a shock after the heat in London, but definitely a welcome one. I had a bit of time to kill before meeting up with Alex, who wanted to join me that day, so I wandered around the area near the station for a bit. The light was super nice, soft, and the clouds were moving really fast. I pulled out my Ricoh GR IIIx and snapped a few shots around the station area. I wasn't expecting much, but I actually really like how some of them turned out. The light looks really nice in these. Usually I head straight to the beach in Brighton when I arrive, so it was refreshing to explore a different area in Brighton this time. Before heading back to meet Alex, I switched to the Leica M2 with a 35mm lens. I had it loaded with a roll of Kodak Ultramax and took a few more photos near the station. With the clouds moving so fast and the lighting conditions changing all the time, I had to admit I struggled a bit with metering, but I think the photos actually turned out alright. On my way back, I randomly ran into Bence. He happened to be in Brighton on a little photo trip as well, so he joined up with me, and shortly after that I met up with Alex. With the three of us together, we decided to head towards the seafront now. First, we wandered through some of the back streets on our way to the beach. I used up the rest of the roll of Kodak Ultramax during that little walk, and then I decided to load a roll of Kodak Portra 160. Since I've only shot 1 or 2 rolls of Portra 160 before, I was really curious to see how it would handle that slightly hazy, soft light. I figured the natural, slightly muted colors should work well for the mood of the day. But first we picked up a meal deal and sat down on the beach for a while. I took one shot while we were eating and I really like how that one turned out. After lunch we started walking west along the beach. It wasn't too busy that day, surprisingly, which made it easy to slow down and notice details and little moments happening all around. I focused on people, textures and little details that caught my eye. I'm especially happy with this a little bit more abstract photo. The color contrast between the deck chairs and the umbrellas worked really well, I think. Another favorite of mine is this one. Deck chairs are always a nice and welcome foreground, and the West Pier in the background adds some context and some meaning to the photo. One thing I noticed was that some of the classic yellow RNLI containers had been replaced by newer white watchtowers, so when I spotted one of the older containers I made sure to photograph it. Just in case they are all gone one day. They've become a personal photo tradition whenever I'm in Brighton. I'm still on the fence about Portra 160 though. Some of the shots turned out nicely, but overall I'm not sure if it really fits my style. There are definitely some keepers on the roll, but I don't think it will become a regular film stock for me. Eventually we reached some colorful beach cabins, which make always a great subject. There was a woman painting one of them and it felt like the perfect scene. And yeah, I'm super pleased with how those shots turned out. And the one with the woman painting her cabin is definitely one of my favorites from the day. While I was taking photos of a seafront shelter, I accidentally ran into another photographer completely by chance. Emeline decided to join our group too. From there, we turned around since there's not a whole lot going on after these beach cabins, so yeah, we headed back towards the pier. On the walk back, I took a few more photos of the beach. It was still quiet, still peaceful, and I tried to focus on some more minimalistic, calmer scenes and compositions, trying to capture the overall mood of the day. Next, we made our way onto the Brighton Palace Pier, which is always a good spot for photos. Not just for photos of the pier itself, but also for the view looking back toward the seafront and Brighton. I took a shot of someone standing calmly on that stone pier next to the Palace Pier, while waves crashed into it, and I really like how that one came out. I finished off the roll of Portra 160 with a photo of the roller coaster near the end of the pier. By then, it unfortunately had gotten pretty overcast and I thought about just heading back with the others, but then the sun broke through just for a small moment and it gave me just enough motivation to load one more roll. This time I decided to load CineStill 800T. The first photo I took of that roll was of the pier and I love how it turned out. I know that these first of the roll light leaks are not everyone's cup of tea, but I think in this case it adds something more abstract, something unique, which I really like. I also took a photo of a group of people surrounded by seagulls with some pastel colored tables in the foreground. I'm really happy with how those came out too. After that, the sun disappeared again unfortunately, and it felt like the right time to start heading back. On the way to the station, I spotted a guy with a metal detector on the beach, and I think that simple composition with the pier in the background and the sky in the foreground works quite well. Then, yeah, I headed back to the station, took a few photos along the way, and caught the train back to London, feeling super happy with how the day went. It ended up being an excellent day. I escaped the heat, met up with friends, some planned, some not, and got a bunch of photos I'm really happy with. These 5 are my favorite photos from the day trip. I think they capture the vibe and atmosphere of the day very well. Days like this remind me why I love the seaside so much. Even when I'm not feeling super inspired, just being near the ocean seems to bring it all back. I'm already looking forward to more days like this in the months ahead. If you liked the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up or even subscribe to my channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!